Okay, man. It doesn't have to be this way. It really doesn't. African men in America, it does not have to be this way. Why are we addicted to this land so much? Why? It's like an addiction. Whenever you try to tell other people that you're moving back home, it's almost like you're telling them you're dying or something. They get shocked. They don't even ask you if you have organized yourself. They quickly say, oh my God, why are you moving? How about your children? How about your wife? How about the bills? How are you going to survive in Africa? How? Why? How now? Why now? They get to you with a million reasons why you should not go back home. African men, have you not seen this trend whereby a lot of African men come to Africa with their wives and kids, and then they stay here and they were planning maybe to go back to Africa in about 10 years after the kids grow, and then suddenly the kids grow and the kids have kids, and then you have to wait for the grandchildren grow, and then eventually you as a man, you decide, okay, it's time for me to go back to Africa. But then your wife, because our women are more addicted to the American security, so very addicted to it, the American paycheck, so addicted to it, the American roads and everything and the beauty outside. If I walk out of my house, the next thing I see is tarmac right in front of my house. In Africa, it could be different, yeah. It could be different unless you're very, very well off in Africa. So our women, we can't blame them. They love security. They love more material. That way they can feel even more secure and they can feel like their tomorrow is taken care of. They love to see those things. As men, we have visions. As men, we are more purposeful when it comes to our Africanness. You want to go back home and you don't want your lineage to disappear. But the moment you African decide that you're coming to America with your kids, unless the kids are very wise people and listen to you, they will never come back and settle back in Kenya. Never ever. Or in whichever country you come from. Now, this woman that you just left in America with your kids, maybe at some point you are not agreeing about some things here and there. At some point, maybe you argued about something and you've always had a tension around some things that you don't agree with. And this becomes a time for her to exercise her freedom and do everything that she ever wanted. And you realize once you land back in Africa, for example, Kenya, you realize maybe, yes, you have a house there that you've built, but you realize that you're very much alone. And then maybe the kids call and your wife calls and times go by. And one time you visit, once every 2-3 years they visit and you realize, uh-oh, you just lost everything. You lost your wife to America. You lost your family to America. Your children, all your children. Now, let's look at the children of your children, your grandkids. Then they're born here in America. Then for them, believe me, they will grow and they will not see any difference between them as black first generation Africans with the other Africans who were brought here over 400 years ago during slavery. And the same oppression all other blacks are going through, your grandchildren will go through that because they speak like them. They are total Americans that are basically African Americans. Not to say, I'm not saying that being Africa is more special than being African Americans, but then being outside Africa, you put yourself as a second, third class citizen. Sometimes being even African is worse than being African American, because you are hated by everyone, including the African American in some cases. In some cases, they'll rather tolerate the African American that they like, rather than you, who actually comes with another deep accent and some funny characteristics. I'm telling you, then you come and give your seed away. That's your children. Come and work for many years. That's your taxes. And leave and go back to Africa with almost nothing, just the farm that you left behind and a house that you built within those 30 years you stayed in America, only to go back with nothing and no one and lonely. So many men end up deciding, you know what? All my children are in America, or my wife has refused to go back to Africa. Everything I've done is here. My grandchildren are here, I need to spend time with them. And then we all give up and say, you know, I'm gonna stay anyway for the sake of them. And that is how you lose your entire family in another country and your entire life work in a world that does not like you anyway. I will not go further. I hope you have received something today. This is yours faithfully, Mr. Sam the Creative. Keep up the Ubuntu spirit.